Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are you? I've got my chair like super low today. Super low. I know I'm a few minutes late. I apologize. I don't know how many, I guess while we're waiting for people to join, how many of you are from, I don't know, like the DC area, Northern Virginia area. Last night, which was Tuesday night, we had terrible storms roll through it. Like, I don't know, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. How many of you are from the DC area and heard the storms roll through at 3 o'clock? Like, who heard it? Let me know. So at like, I guess 3 a.m., it sounded like I almost thought it was going to be like a tornado or something because it sounded like a freight train, right? That was coming through the area. And my dog, I don't know how many of you have a dog like this, but my dog is completely terrified, like completely terrified of storms, right? So my dog was up all night long, just shaking like a leaf. So for 2 hours, I sat in the bathroom because that's his go-to place, right? But he just sits there and shakes, right? And he's got a heart condition. So we're supposed to try to calm him down. So anyway, for 2 hours, I'm sitting in the bathroom from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m., just like with this dog who's just crazy, and I'm not sleeping. And so I'm a little like running a little behind this morning on things, like 4 minutes behind on everything. So I don't know if any of you have ever had a morning like that, but I love that puppy so much. He's not a puppy, he's 14. So his birthday was yesterday. But yeah, when you're here, say hi. Let me know that you're here. I'm excited about the topic for today. We're going to dive right into it. This is all about how to be successful now, because I hear from people all of the time, like, Rita, I need to reach a certain level of success, right? I need to reach a level of success in my business. I want to be fully booked. I want to have, I don't know, 10 clients. I want to be making $10,000. I mean, we just did, how many of you participated in the All or Nothing event that we just did? So if you did, say hi, let me know that you did. If you're watching on replay, let me know that you did. But I mean, that was about reaching some of those milestones in your business, right? We created plans and processes and all kinds of things to allow you to reach those goals. But I think the mistake is believing that the goal is what success is, that reaching a goal is what defines success, or that reaching a goal is, you know, what lets you know that you're on a path to success. Does that make sense? So here's what I mean. Like, all of our life, we're told what the path to success is, right? And again, when you're here, say hi, good morning. It's 11. I know it's almost not morning. It feels like morning for me today. It feels like morning. But all of our life, we're given like kind of a roadmap, right? We're given this list of like, here is your path to success. You go to school, you graduate high school, you go to college, you get married, you have babies, you buy a house, you get a promotion, right? Like, we're given, hi, Nicole. So we're given this roadmap of what success is supposed to be, right? Like, here are markers that let you know that you're moving forward in the world. Here are markers that let you know that you're, you know, progressing in your life, or that you fit society's definition of what success is, right? How many of you, oh, thank you. I'm so glad that you dropped in to say hi. Hello. How many of you had markers like that for success? Like, okay, I need to go, I need to graduate, I need to get this degree, I need to get a master's degree, okay, I need to get my first job in corporate America, okay, I'm trying to get the promotion, or I'm trying to get the raise, okay, I'm dating so I can get married, I'm getting married so I can have kids, okay, like, there's always something like that, right? We're given this roadmap of success. But when you go off the map, okay, so when you're like, I don't know. I don't know that, like, corporate America guy, like, look at my hair. Sorry. I can't. One day I'm going to come on video and not play with my hair, I promise. When you're given the roadmap to success and you decide you want to deviate off of it, and let's say that you want to deviate off of it by starting your own business, right? Whether that means leaving corporate America or not, but you want to start your own business. You want to do something that's still unconventional. I know it feels like entrepreneurship is actually not unconventional anymore, because it seems like right? There are a million Facebook groups dedicated to it. Everyone's an entrepreneur. Everyone's got a business or a side hustle. You hear it all the time, right? But the reason that we're hearing it all of the time is because we're in this world. And I want you to stop and think about a time before you were connected to this Facebook world or to entrepreneur networking groups. Did you know that there were just so many people that had businesses and had side hustles? Because I didn't, right? I remember when I was working as an attorney and I was on Facebook, I had no idea that I knew Facebook groups existed back then, right? But like they were family groups or that's what I thought. I didn't know this whole underground world. I'm calling it underground, even though it's not, right? But I didn't know this whole underground world existed in terms of like all of these people with businesses and side hustles and, you know, all of these supportive communities. And I definitely didn't know about all of these like networking groups that I know about now because I wasn't in that world, right? So what felt normal to me was the corporate America world. And what feels normal to me now is this, right? I've been in this world for like 6 years, this internet kind of based lifestyle and business and all of that, right? That feels normal to me now, but it feels unconventional to you until it becomes conventional because you're surrounded in it, right? So this is why I say it's still an unconventional path to starting your business. You might feel like everyone's doing it. You might feel like it's normal, but I want you to put yourself back way before you ever did this and think about when you never had any idea that these Facebook groups existed. You never had any idea that these networking groups exist, right? Do you remember that time? I see all these people popping in, say hi, say good morning. I need a good morning today, guys. I sat in the bathroom for 2 hours between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. wide awake with a terrified dog who was so scared of all the storms. And I was trying to keep his heart rate down. He's got a heart problem. And I haven't had my coffee yet today, believe it or not. So I really need some hellos. I get energy 2 ways. Well, 3 ways. Okay. I get energy 3 ways. I get energy from coffee. I get energy from talking, but I get energy from like interaction, right? Conversation. So just say hi, say good morning. Like Nicole did. She popped in and said hi. So anyway, I say that, right? Good morning, Amanda. Good morning. So I say that, guys, Amanda is my new OBM, by the way. If you guys remember, I introduced you to Amanda. So say hello to Amanda. Make sure you get to know her. She is incredible. So you have this like map of success, the steps you're supposed to take to move forward in your life, all the way up until you deviate off that path, right? So like even after you get married, it's have kids, have more kids, upgrade your house, retire, like there's just like this standard, right, in the world of like, here's what success looks like. But at some point, a lot of you deviated because you decided to start your own business, right? You decided I'm going to start my own business. And what happens is that there is no path for success as to what that looks like. When you decide to start your own business, suddenly, right, you're following this roadmap for your life about going to school and graduating and going to college and getting a job and getting married and having kids and all of these things that show that you're successful in moving your life forward, right? But then you decide either parallel with that or, you know, instead of your job, to start your own business. And it's like, there isn't really this clear defined path of what success in starting your own business looks like, right? It looks different for everybody. It seems like everywhere that you're looking, there are different mile markers, there are different like milestones people are meeting, there are different indicators of success. So when you don't have this like pre-written script of here's what success means, right? In fact, you hear the opposite in this world, right? There is no like real definite, like it depends on so much, right? We have like the Facebooks of the world that turn into the Facebooks of the world. And then we have like the mom and pop ice cream shop. And then there's so many variations of what success looks like. So there isn't this pre-written roadmap to it, right? And without it, you start looking to others to define success. So how many of you have ever done that? And if you're watching on replay, I want you to go ahead. I want you to say, you know, yes or no, because I always go back, you know, and I read the comments. But you start looking to others to see what success is. Oh, okay. She runs a big Facebook group. I think that's an indicator of success. Okay. She's talking about making this much money. So that must be an indicator of success. Okay. She's getting asked to speak. So that must be an indicator of success, right? So without this like roadmap of what success is, you start pulling from your past experience with corporate America, and your life, but you start trying to create your own list of like linear forward movement to represent success. Does that make sense? So again, in corporate America, it's like get your first job, get a promotion, get a raise, right? Move to the corner office, have a lateral move up to the C-suite, whatever it is, right? You have this like very clear, and in fact, they sometimes when you go into certain companies, right, they lay out your career success path. They're like, here's what you can do to be successful in this company, and here is your roadmap and where you're going to go over the next 10 years, right? So when you start your own business and you don't have this roadmap of what success is, you start pulling from that. You start pulling from your previous experiences of what marks success, and then you start looking at what others are doing, and you use that to create your definition of success. Be honest, how many of you have done that? You've looked at other people, or you kind of try to parallel it to like making more money in corporate America was a sign of success, right? Or if getting more business was a sign of success in corporate America, if you were in sales or a rainmaker or something like that, right? Just like, becoming better established, well-known, having your peers seek you out for other information or mentorship or whatever in corporate America, that's all kind of like what success is defined as, right? So you start pulling from that, you start looking at what others are doing, and what that means, like the reason that this is important is your focus then turns to tasks, to like strategies, to to-do lists, to-do lists to define what success is, right? You're measuring your success by the items that you check off. Yes, like, how many of you have felt like you've had a really, like, here's my to-do list for today, guys. Here's my, right? Like, here's my today. Guys, if you don't have these by Cultivate What Matters, by the way, so you guys all know I'm an affiliate of PowerSheets. How many of you have the today to-do pads from them? It's like one big pad of it's incredible, by the way. So I'll have to do like I haven't done a PowerSheets accessory video in a while. Anyway, I deviate. This is my to-do list, okay? This is my to-do list for today. Well, how many of you feel successful when you check off your to-do list items? It's like, I had a successful day today. I did these things. But then how many of you also feel successful when you're checking off the items and you get something from it? So maybe a to-do list item is market the mastermind group, right? Like to pull from what I had been doing. Market the mastermind group. And then I filled it, right? Maybe many of you might have seen last night, the final member signed on, the round is full. Right? So it could be very easy for me to define success by the fact that I did the things that I was supposed to do to market the group, and that I filled the group, and that's success, right? And there we go, that's successful. But what that does when you turn to-do lists, right? When you look at like your to-do lists and the actions that you're taking and the fact that you're checking them off as success, or when you look at what you get from taking the actions, more followers, more clients, more money, whatever, what that does is it kind of puts you in a state of overwhelm, okay? So not because you have so many things to do and not because you're achieving all of these things, right? But what happens is the items that you're checking off on your to-do list, right? And the things that you're achieving from them, they don't bring that feeling that you desire. How many of you have had that happen where you're like, okay, like, guys, I'm going to give a really personal example. Okay. I'm going to give a super personal example. Okay? My chair is so low right now. I feel absolutely ridiculous. Hold on. I'm going to talk to you. This is real time, guys. I'm talking to you while I adjust my chair. So for those of you who don't know, I'm 4'11", and so I can't reach the ground. And so finding the perfect placement for my chair is really hard. So I'm going to use a personal story, right? So many of you know I've been marketing the mastermind round, and it's full, right? We just filled last night. There are no more spots left for the mastermind. It would be very easy for me to think that filling the mastermind would create this real sense of like satisfaction, right? And success, and like this feeling of like, I have made some kind of next level or something like that. I'm using that kind of, that's not true, but like, that's not how I feel about it. But like, that's what people feel like. If I get fully booked with a waiting list, then I'm going to feel like this, or like this is going to be the experience that I'm going to have because of filling this thing or meeting this milestone or doing this thing, right? Well, guys, I'm going to be honest. I was excited that I filled the mastermind group for about 10 minutes last night, right? I'm still excited, but I'm talking about that sense of like, wow, I can't believe it. Like, and it happened with ease. Many of you know I made the declaration that like I fill the mastermind group and I fill it with ease, and I use that all through the 2 weeks training of the All or Nothing event, right? I use that as my example. I'm like, that's exactly how it happened. But I had like a 10-minute, like real, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This is incredible. I've reached this like certain level of my business. I'm really excited for the mastermind group and the level that it's reached. And then like, I was on to the next thing in my head. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to be very intentional about not jumping to the next thing. How many of you have that same experience where like, there's something that you want to achieve because you know it's going to make you feel successful, or it helps you define what success is for your business. And so you do all the actions to achieve it. You even achieve the thing and you feel some kind of way about it for like a few minutes, maybe a day, maybe a couple of days. But then that feeling is gone and you're on to the next thing. Now you have to achieve the next level. Like now you have to achieve the next thing, right? In addition to putting you into the circle we're going to talk about, that's like a constant hustle for the next thing, right? And I'll talk about why that happens. The reason that this creates overwhelm for you is like, it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't seem to create that lasting kind of experience or feeling that you're really wanting from success. And what that does is it leads you to a lack of feeling fulfilled. And then you feel disappointed. And then you feel like you're failing instead of succeeding. So you guys are being super quiet today. I see you all watching. You guys are being super quiet. But I would love to know, and I know it's a hard thing to admit to, but I will admit to it publicly, right? How many of you have moved your business forward? Like when you look at where your business was on the day that you decided to do it, and you look at where your business is today, and I don't mean you've reached all the goals that you want to achieve, but how many of you can honestly say your business has moved forward? Right? That you were here when you started and now you're here. But how many of you does it feel like no matter how far forward you move your business or how much it grows or how much it changes, like it just never feels like you're succeeding and you still feel like you're failing? How many of you have had a business for a while that on paper, and when you start getting logical, right? Because we all do this. It's like when I'm having a logical moment with myself, right? When I'm talking to myself rationally, right? It's like my business is great. Right. And I mean, guys, I'm not immune to this, right? I go through the same thing. I've said this over and over. I go through the same feelings. The difference is I can move through it in like 1 second, whereas before I didn't notice it or I couldn't move forward through it at all. Right. But here's what I mean. Like, it's like, okay, I make multiple 6 figures, right? I have full mastermind groups. I'm almost fully booked with a waiting list for private coaching. I work 25, 30 hours a week, right? On paper, I have 2 assistants that I love. Like I have a podcast that's doing relatively well for these crazy times, because podcasts actually took a big hit with COVID, but which is weird because you think it's opposite. But like, I should be like ecstatic, right? Like I should feel, but it's still so easy for me to feel like I'm still not successful. Well, I haven't achieved this thing and I haven't achieved that thing, and look over there, they've got that thing. And it's not so much comparison as like, again, pulling the milestones and the markers and starting to get back into that old corporate America or that whole way that you live your life mentality about what success is. So I just want to know if I'm the only one that has felt like that, right? But the idea is you start looking in your own business, the way you start defining success is by your to-do list. The items that you're doing, the things that you're creating, and what you're achieving from them as your marker of success. But this just really creates a circle of overwhelm, because no matter what you check off, no matter what you achieve, no matter what milestone you meet or what the result is from accomplishing it, right, that's going to be fleeting. And then it feels like you're on to the next thing. So you feel like you're in this hustle, but then it also leaves you feeling unfulfilled, because you're like, when am I going to reach it? When am I going to make it? When am I going to be successful, right? So I don't want you guys to root your definition of success in these external things. I don't want you to root your definition of success in tasks that you're completing in your business. And I don't want you to root your definition of success in like what you're achieving. I don't want it to be a certain number of clients means success. I don't want it to be a certain 6-figure, 5-figure, 10K, 5K, 20K, 100K. I don't want it to be a 6-figure launch. All of that's irrelevant to be honest, right? Like, I don't want those things to become your definition of success. So I want you instead to flip the way. I couldn't hear. Siri can't hear what I say. Crazy. I'm talking so loud. I want you to root your definition of success in your mission. I want you to root your definition of success in your values. And when you have your mission and you have your values, what that really combines and creates, right, is a definition of success in terms of who you're being and not what you're doing. If you could flip the paradigm, if you could change your perspective to create a definition of success in terms of who you are being, you can not only feel successful right now, right this very minute, and there's more to it than this, so this isn't the whole video, right? But you have complete control over it. Does that make sense? So like, this is the sentence stem, and if you're watching, how many of you are here? Say hi, say hello, type hello, let me know that you're watching. I would love for you to complete the sentence, and if you're watching on replay, I still want you to complete the sentence, right? Which is, I am a person who what? I am a person who what? We are so focused on the things that we're doing, right? Like creating mastermind groups, creating marketing plans, creating strategy, doing Facebook Lives, like, but you have to be a certain kind of person in order to do certain things, right? So this is what I mean. Because I always use examples of things that, you know, as you guys know, I've said this before, that I either don't do or I'm trying to master or whatever. So I always use a health and wellness example when I'm talking about this. Let's say that you want to, I hear this goal a lot. I'm not a fan of this goal, but I'm going to say it because this is a goal that people have. I want to lose 25 pounds. I want to lose 50 pounds. I want to whatever, right? We're not talking about goal setting, so I'm not going to talk about that, right? But so then what you will turn to is your definition of success in that, right? Which is losing a certain amount of weight. Maybe the things you have to do to achieve that. So like going to the gym 3 times a week, or like, I don't know, doing yoga or eating apples. So like, but you'll get very specific, right? Plan 3 meals a day, cook all my meals from home, like, you know, take a daily walk, go to the gym 3 times. Like, so when you have this goal of success, and in this example, it's like lose weight, lose 25 pounds, you will come up with your to-do list of what you need to do to make that happen and what you'll achieve, right? Which your pounds lost for making that happen. And that's how you'll focus your definition of success. And when those things aren't going according to plan, or when it's not producing the results you want or the feeling you want, you still feel like you're failing, even if you're progressing, right? But if you could change your definition in that situation, if you could change your definition of success to who you are being, you will feel an immediate difference. And what I mean by that is, who do you have to be the kind of person that would do those things to lose the weight, right? Like, so if you want to go to the gym 3 times a week, if you want to walk every day, if you want to cook all your meals, if you want to eat, you know, these healthy, like these like apples every morning, if you want to do these things that you have just written down will help you lose weight, what kind of person do you have to be in order to achieve those things? Does that make sense? That should be where your definition of success is rooted. So in this example, right, it would be, I'm a person who, right? I'm a person who eats nutritious food. I'm a person who moves every day. I'm a person who drinks plenty of water. I'm a person who gets sufficient sleep, right? These are all things, right, that will help with the losing weight or getting healthy, right? Which is drinking water, getting good sleep, exercise, right? Eating well. But then that means I have to be the kind of person, right? I am a person who eats nutritious foods. Like, once I say I am that person, there is no opportunity for me to be a different person, right? I'm a person who eats nutritious food. I am a person who sleeps sufficient hours in a day. I am a person who moves frequently. I am a person who, does this make sense? Do you see how you can immediately live into being that person? Right? That it's bigger than tasks. It's bigger, like eating nutritious food can mean a million things. It doesn't mean home cooking my meals 3 times a day necessarily, or that I only eat non-carbs, or that I only eat, right? That's a way to eat nutritious food. But that's not the important marker of success. The marker of success is I have to be the kind of person who would do these things. right? I'm a person who has self-discipline. I'm a person who stays focused. I'm a person who moves through and keeps my eye on the prize even when it's a difficult day. Does this make sense? You guys are being really, really, really quiet. Tonight's really freaking me out, guys. Today. Maybe 11 o'clock on a Wednesday is not a good time for y'all. Maybe I need to go back to 9 a.m. videos. I don't know. There were so many people here at 9 a.m. I thought maybe more people would be here at 11. I'm gonna have to play around and find that good time again. Maybe 5 o'clock. If you guys are watching this, what time of day on like Wednesday or Monday would be a good time for a Facebook Live for you? 9 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m.? Like, let's start with those times. But do you see how changing your definition of success, right, to who you are being is so powerful? So when people say, cool, I want to be fully booked with a wait list, then I'm like, oh, hi, Tatiana. Hi, thank you. When people say, I want to be fully booked with a wait list, then it's like, cool, what kind of person do you have to be the kind of person who gets fully booked with a wait list? Or when people say, I want to make 6 figures, then it's like, cool, what kind of person do you have to be the kind of person who makes 6 figures, right? And as you start defining who that person is, hi, Lorena, hello, then you really start stepping in to success. Does this make sense? So instead of like filling my mastermind and doing 3 Facebook Lives and whatever, getting a new client every month or et cetera, as my checklist, right, of post on Facebook 3 times a day, right? All of these to-dos and what you get from them. Instead of that being the definition of success, right? So let's stick with fully booked with a waiting list or $10,000 a month. Let's say these are things you want. You're going to come up with your list of what can make that happen, right? Which is fine. Having goals and having actions is fine. I'm just saying, don't confuse that with success. Don't confuse those things with your definition of success. They are completely irrelevant. Like, they have no bearing on being successful, right? So your list for those things may be post 3 times a day on Facebook, follow up with 1 person a day, reach out and connect with 1 new person a day, do a webinar every month. Like, those may be the tasks to help you get fully booked with a waiting list or to help you make $10,000 a month, right? But that checking those things off and achieving, like getting clients and fully booked, should in no way be your indicator of what success is, right? Instead, who do you have to be? What kind of person do you have to be a person that will do a Facebook Live every day, that will reach out to 1 person for connection every week, that will do a webinar every month, that will send out a weekly newsletter, right? All of your to-dos. What kind of person do you have to be? Because if you're not first creating, getting very clear on the kind of person that you have to be to do those things, you're going to struggle to do those things. Does that make sense? Like, you will always struggle to do those things because you have not yet become the person who does those kinds of things, right? So what kind of and that's because you're not clear on what kind of person that is, right? So you have to get super clear. So if you want to make $10,000 a month, or if you want to be fully booked with a waiting list, then it's like, I am a person who gets visible daily, asks for what I want, cultivates deep and meaningful relationships, right? Like, tells everyone about all of the solutions I have to their problems, right? Like, do you see what I'm saying? Hi, Sherry. Sherry said, I said, yes, you are. And that's what we're getting to, right? So the first thing is, really think about the kind of, I'm a person, okay, you're not going to make 6 figures and you're not going to be fully booked if you're not the kind of person that honors your time boundaries, that honors your own time commitment, that respects and values your own time. I hear so many people say, well, I was going to do 3 hours of this and then 2 hours of that, but then this happened and that happened and it all fell apart. Like, to be that kind of person who is successful, you need to be a person who what? Like, I'm a person who gives value freely. I am a person who honors my time blocks. I'm a person who doesn't stop just because of how I feel, right? I'm a person who takes action daily. I'm a person who gets visible frequently. I'm a person who, right, like, when you start rooting your definition of success and who you are being, you're able to step into that now, right? So, like, again, I see this with so many people who come to me who say things like, Once I have more clients, Rita, then I'll be successful. Like once I'm fully booked with a waiting list, then I know I've really made it. Or like once I'm starting to generate $5,000 a month in revenue, then I'll be a business owner, right? Or after I've gotten quoted in the news, boy, oh boy, then I know I've made it. Then I know I'm an expert. Then I know I'm this, right? So again, the definition of success in those situations leaves you dependent on external factors. I'm only successful if the media quotes me. I'm only successful if I get fully booked with a waiting list. I'm only successful if I make $10,000. And what happens is exactly what we talked about before, which is when your definition of success is dependent on external factors, right? On things outside of you. When your definition of success is rooted on external factors, it puts you in a never-ending cycle of always having to hustle for the next thing. Because what will happen is you will achieve the thing, but you still won't feel successful, right? Like you'll feel like I talked about the other day, I filled the mastermind group, a momentary feeling of happiness, right? But if I allowed that to be my definition of success, I would have immediately started feeling like I'm still not successful. Well, there's still more I have to do. There's still another thing I have to do. There's still this other goal I have to achieve. Well, now I've got to focus on this, right? And so what happens is you don't even celebrate the things that you're achieving. And you're just on to the next thing because you're chasing that feeling that you thought would come from the thing that you just achieved. How many of you do not celebrate your successes? And I mean really celebrate them. I want you to be honest. How many of you do not really celebrate? You're on to the next thing. It's like goal achieved. Maybe you're happy for a minute and then you're already on to the next goal. You're already on to the next thing. Or it's like people come to me saying, I just want my first client, or I want 3 clients, or I want whatever. And they do the work and they get it. And they're like, cool. Okay, so now I want to start a group. Okay, so now I want to do this. Now I want to do that. And it's like, whoa, hold up, right? Can we like really savor and celebrate what you just achieved? And people are like, wait, what? Like, no, I'm on to the next thing, right? Like Sherry said, I see that conditions of success can make us an addict. Oh, because it's chasing this high that scientifically does not last, right? Scientifically, it does not last. And what happens then is when it doesn't last, you feel like a failure, right? You feel like you still haven't made it. You feel like, well, when is the moment gonna be? Right, that this happens. And so you're not celebrating what you are achieving. You're hustling for the next thing. It's because you're defining success externally on things you're achieving and doing instead of who you're being, right? And so what that does is when you're chasing these external things is to do, like I said, from life, from birth, we're given this list, right? And it's very clear what defines success in society. Graduate high school, go to college, get a job, get married, buy a house, have a baby, right? Get a promotion, work your way up, get more money, retire, be debt free, right? Like all of this stuff, like those are markers of success because that's the way society defines it for us based on external factors, right? But when you deviate off the script, what happens, right? When you start your own business, what happens? When you start your own business, you start looking to your old way of thinking about success and you start looking to what others are doing and you use those to define your own next map, and it's all based on external factors. And that chase for external factors just keeps you hustling for the next thing, and it keeps you feeling like you're failing instead of succeeding because you never feel like you've made it. And you can look at your business on paper and go, wow, I've had clients do this all the time. Rita, when is it gonna become easier? Rita, when is my business gonna make it? Rita, when will it just be like a well-oiled machine? Rita, when will it? And I'll go, let's look a year ago where your business was, right? And they're like, wow, my business has really come a long way in a year. And I'm like, right? And they're like, gosh, but I still don't feel like I've made it, right? I remember thinking that when I got my first client, I was going to be like feeling successful, but that wasn't enough. Or I remember the first time I was going to get fully booked, I was going to feel like I made it, but I never did. Or like, why is it that I'm still not feeling that way, right? And it's because you're defining success by external things instead of internal things, right? And internal is, who are you being? What I'm a person who celebrates progress, not just the wins, right? You guys know that about me. I think that getting a client or filling the, like I just filled the mastermind group last night. That's great. That's a goal. I celebrated it. I'm celebrating it. I have a big trip that I'm doing to celebrate this, right? I booked it a long time ago as my reward for filling the group. But Like, that's not the important thing to celebrate. What I'm really celebrating are all of the steps that I had to take to make that happen, right? Because I'm a person who celebrates progress. I am a person who values the process. I am a person who, right, your values and what's important to you. So I'm saying, like Lorena says, I don't really stop to celebrate. Sherry's like, I'm always on to the next thing, right? It's like, gotta get more. Half of it's a mindset of scarcity, Sherry, but half of it's also not. It's just that cycle of like the way that we're raised, that external factors define our success. So when we hit one, we've got to hit the other, right? And because external factors do not create the feeling that we're wanting. So then we think, well, maybe it's the next thing. You know, I thought having 3 clients would be enough, but maybe it's when I have 5. I thought 5 figures enough a month would be enough, but maybe it's when I'm at, 6 figures a month, or maybe it's this, or maybe it's that, right? Because we think these external factors should bring about the feeling of success. And the idea is that they just don't, right? Like, I want to tell you a story about a client that I had. Okay, she's a corporate America client, works in corporate America. She was actually an older client for dating, and we did some like life coaching stuff, right? And so she kind of stayed with me even once I became like a business coach, and we did more career coaching, life coaching, date coaching, right? And she had a review at work. Okay, she had, how many of you used to work in corporate America, right? So she had one of these annual reviews, right? An annual review at work. And her review, guys, was excellent. It was a new job at the time that she had this. So this was, okay, so she had the job for about, I don't know, a year. And it was a new job. It was a higher level job for her. And she had her annual review, and her annual review was excellent. She exceeded everything that they anticipated. Okay, she exceeded everything that they anticipated in terms of like the substance of her review. It like was great, and also the raise that she got. So she was not anticipating the rating that she got. She was not anticipating the raise she got. And it's like, she far exceeded every milestone or marker that she had set. She exceeded her expectation for like what this was. And I was talking to her about it. I was like, well, this is incredible. Tell me more. And she said this. I actually wrote it down, so I'm going to read it. This is her sentence exactly. When I said, so tell me more about it. She said, yes, it makes me feel so much better because now I feel as if I'm contributing to the team. This review helped me feel confident about what I bring to the company. How many of you felt like that in corporate America before, right? Like, this review made me feel good about what I contribute. This review showed me that I'm contributing to the team, right? And so I kind of like let that marinate, right? I didn't say anything about it. We were talking about something else. And I said, well, what do you want to talk about on our call today? And she said, I really want to talk about being present. I feel like I'm not present enough. I feel like I just don't enjoy the moment, kind of like what Lorena is saying here. Like, I don't stop to celebrate, but I'm not present. I'm not fully here at any one time. I'm always like living in the future. How many of you have ever felt like that before? Always living in the future. And I said, look, I'm going to be honest, right? Because you pay me to be honest. I was like, what keeps you focused on the future is the same thing that made you say what you just did about your review. That now you feel like you are contributing. Now you feel like you're valuable for the team. It's the same thing, right? The thing that made her say those words is the same thing that keeps her focused on the future. And that thing is that she doesn't think she's enough. She doesn't think she's whatever enough, good enough, smart enough, like skilled enough, like whatever. She didn't think she was enough. And so at the time I was talking to her, this is back when I was running my retreat, the Reset Retreat. One day we'll have another retreat, maybe in 2021, we'll have another retreat. COVID. But I was in the middle of registering people for that retreat. And I said, look, this is what we're talking about. It's a business building retreat. Not really. This is more of who you have to be to run a successful business, who you have to be to climb your way up corporate America. Like, this is who you have to be, right? And I said, this is exactly what we're talking about. How to be present, how to feel like enough, all of this. And I asked her, do you want to go? And she said, I just don't think I can swing that right now. I have a financial goal that I'm trying to achieve. Okay, that's fine, right? Like, it was not a priority for her to spend the money on the retreat, right? Cool. She said, I have a financial goal that I'm trying to achieve, so I can't swing the money for the retreat. I think the retreat was like $1,000 a person or something like that, right? I didn't push it. We kept talking. We kept talking about being present. We kept talking about all of this stuff. And then she mentioned, right, that during her review, so the review she just had, which was great and excellent and made her feel like she was contributing to the team, right? She mentioned that during her review, she asked the company to pay for this special training. Okay, there was like this communications training and management certification or something like that. That was going to be a value add to her position. And she asked the company to pay for it. And they said, sorry, but we don't have the budget for that. Okay, sorry, we think it's a great thing, but we don't have the budget for that. And she immediately offered to pay for it herself. She immediately offered to pay $3,000 for it herself. She was like, okay, no worries, I'm going to pay for it. Are you guys noticing a trend here, right? She's like, okay, I'm going to pay for it. And as I heard this story, okay, so she had just said, hey, Rita, like, I want to learn how to be more present. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. Cool. The Reset Retreat's going to teach you that, how to be that person, how to do this thing, how to be the person you want to be. Cool. I don't think I can swing the Reset Retreat because I have a financial goal that I need to achieve. Okay, great. Also, then in her business setting, she asked for them to pay for a class that's helpful for her position with that company. They say they don't have the money for it. She says, no problem. I'll pay the $3,000 myself for it. Right? I said, wait a minute. I said, I have to, as your coach and your person, I have to talk about this. Can I ask you a really difficult question? And she was like, yeah, of course. And I said, you are not hesitating to pay $3,000 to invest in a certification that benefits your employer, but you have hesitation around investing in a retreat that benefits you. And I'm curious why that is. Why was there no hesitation to invest in something that benefits your company, but there was a lot of hesitation around investing in something that benefits yourself? And she was really, really quiet. And she was quiet for a long time. And that's another thing about like private coaching with me. I'll let you sit in silence. Like, it's hard for me, but I'll let you do it. And she was sitting there and she was like, Rita, honestly, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say it. I was like, good. I need you to be honest. She's like, my motivation to get the certification, my motivation to pay for it, the reason that I offered to pay for it for work, the reason that my motivation for that certification is that I believe it's going to prove that I have value to contribute. If I have that certification, it will prove that I'm valuable. She thought that even after she just had her review where she exceeded everyone's expectations, had like perfect scores, got a huge honkin' raise, whatever, raise, had a huge raise, had perfect scores. They told her flat out, you are super valuable to this company. Yet in her mind, right, it was, well, if I have this certification, the certification will show. So just like the review then proves to her she was contributing to her company, right? The raise proved to her she had value to contribute. And if she got this certification, she thought it would prove to the company that just told her she was good, right? The company that had just told her that, it would prove to the company that she was valuable. Because, right, she had been seeking validation for her value from external things. She was trying to get the fact that she was valuable validated by external things, like a raise, a good review, right? Having a certificate, instead of simply knowing internally that she has value, that she is a person that brings value, that she is a person that contributes. How many of you is this resonating with you guys? I hear you guys being quiet. Does this story just trigger anything in you in any kind of way? Is this ringing any kind of bell? Is this, right? Here's the thing, right? When you have that underlying feeling that you aren't enough, right? That you need a certification to be enough, or you need a training to be enough, or you need more knowledge to be enough, or you need experience to be enough, or you needed to have achieved a certain level to be enough, or you need whatever, that you need something to be enough, that you have to do something to become valuable to others. Like, well, if I have this training and I have these certifications, then I can help these people, right? Or if I like do this, then I'm helpful and I'm more valuable to my clients. So when you have this underlying feeling, okay, that you aren't enough, that you have to do something to become valuable to others or worthy of their attention or worthy of their praise or worthy of their friendship, right? Or working with you. I have to do something to be worthy of this person hiring me. Like, I'm not just enough. I don't bring enough value inherently. I have to whatever, wait for this person to work with me. When you do that, it keeps you in a loop of always looking to the future, thinking ahead to the next thing that you can do to be valuable. Does that make sense? Because even when you do the thing, get the certification, reach the milestone, all the things, you will not feel successful or happy, since your definition of those things of success and happiness come from external things. Instead, you're going to move on to that next thing, trying to chase that feeling of success. And what happens, like the big important piece of this, right, what I really like, can you guys tell I'm super passionate about this? Like, I even want to cry because I remember I used to be there. I mean, I was there all the way in high school. I used to think that I had to be a certain kind of person, right? If we're going to get like really real, if we're going to get really like, if I were to like open the door and show you like the thing under the thing under the thing, right? Like in the super emotional, want to cry kind of thing. I was overweight like all my life, right? I've been overweight all my life. Well, not true. I mean, I looked at pictures, but overweight compared to other people all my life, right? But in high school, because I was overweight, I did not think people would like me for who I was. I thought, no way will people like me for who I am. People don't like overweight people, right? So I need to do something for people to like me. I didn't know this back then. This is like a lot of work later on during my dating stages, right? That I learned all of this, right? This is part of my like revelations when I went on 35 dates in 35 days, was that I didn't think people could like me for who I was inherently as a person. So I felt like I had to do something to be the kind of person that they would like. Meaning I had to be the class clown, or I had to like be the person that would like help you with your homework or let you copy my test or like whatever, right? If I was doing something, then people would be my friend, because it wouldn't be normal if somebody just wanted to be my friend, right? That would be weird. And so this is why, and I share this story because what happens is when you are when you're defining things externally to show you have value, to show you're worthy, to show you're good at what you do, to show that you contribute, to show you're successful, right? And it's putting you in that loop because you'll achieve the milestone, you'll get the certification, you'll have the experience, you'll do the thing, but you have to go to the next external thing to keep that feeling. You're gonna keep putting everybody else ahead of you. Just like my client did with, I'll pay for the $3,000 out of my pocket for something that I can't take with me somewhere else, for something that will literally only benefit my employer. I will pay that out of pocket, but for something that will benefit me and that will change me and that I will take everywhere I go, I'm not going to pay that. I need to put this other person first, right? Like, you're going to keep putting everybody else before you in order to prove that you're valuable to other people, right? So you will always put, whether it's your time and how you spend your time, right? We talk about this in terms of like people pleasing or whatever, right? You will always put other people and their needs before you because you feel like you have to do these things and whatever in order to prove that you're valuable to them. But that keeps you operating as a lesser version of you. Okay, that keeps you operating as a lesser version of yourself, which only then, guess what, guys? When you're operating at a lesser version of you, it only reinforces the feeling of you not being enough, because now you're a lesser version of who you know you can be, right? So now it just reinforces that you're not enough, meaning you're going to have to prove it even more, right? So it's like, I don't feel like I'm enough. So I need to do these things to prove that I'm enough, right? To prove that I have a spot in this mastermind group, or to prove that I can hang with these people, or to prove that I can be here, to prove that I should have this kind of business, or to prove I'm good at what I do. Like, I have to do these things, right? And so you're trying to prove it, and the things you do to prove it keeps you operating at a lesser version, making you feel like I'm not enough. But you have to do more, meaning you're going to feel even less like enough, right? It creates this vicious loop. Right? This is why so many people, and especially entrepreneurs, are really quick to pay for things like social media classes, branding classes, copywriting classes, hard skills courses, right? Hard skills. Teach me how to do a Facebook ad. Teach me how to, like, entrepreneurs, or teach me how to use Pinterest. Teach me how to use hashtags, right? Like, I'm not saying those aren't valuable or important or good for business, but I'm saying this is why entrepreneurs are quick to pay for hard skill courses and super slow to pay for things that will change them. because those hard skill courses allow them to say, see, because I learned this new skill and because I know how to do this thing now, I bring more value to my business. I bring more value to my clients. I bring more value to my audience. I bring more value to my community, right? That's why they're quick to pay for those kinds of things. But when it comes to investing in themselves, by hiring a coach, by joining a mastermind group, by getting out of their own way, right? Meaning they have to tap into the value that they have inherently. When it comes to making internal growth a priority, they hesitate because they think they're not worth the investment. They think they don't trust themselves enough to like achieve that true success that they want. They don't trust themselves enough to be the kind of person that achieves success. Does this make sense? So that's what's happening, right? They don't trust themselves enough to be the kind of person that just inherently is successful. A person who honors time blocks, or who sets and enforces boundaries, or who all of these things, right? I am a person who, whatever that statement would be, the kind of person you have to be to get the things you want. Take away the things you want. What kind of person do you have to be to get there? What happens is people do not inherently believe they can be that person. They don't trust themselves to actually become that person. And so they hesitate to invest in things that will make them have to be that person, or will have to make them look at that or shine a light on it. And instead, they'll invest in all of these other things to prove that they're good, instead of inherently believe it and know it. And the power and the real success comes from seeing you are successful right now. You are enough right now. You have value right now, no matter what, right? And when you know you're enough, and when you know you have value, right, then you can't help but create all the situations in your life that you want. You have to stop looking at what you're doing, and you have to start looking at who you are being. Sherry says validation can be never ending, right? This means you have to be the best version of yourself first. You have to show up for yourself first, right? And so that's what my client in that story that I shared decided to do after we had that conversation. She was like, that's it. I'm going to the retreat. She went to the retreat and it actually changed her life. It changed her health. It changed her mentally. It changed her physically. She started setting boundaries. She started prioritizing things. She started creating maximum impact in like the lives of others, right? So if you're ready for that, if you're ready to start focusing on who you're being, instead of what you're doing, just decide to, right? Decide to measure your value by who you are being and not what you're doing. So it's not the things that make you successful. I promise you, it's not the things that make you successful. It's because you are a successful person that you will create and have those things, right? You can't create, it's like, I can't have a healthy life if I'm not a healthy person, right? It's not like, oh, these things actually then make me a healthy person. It's by being a healthy person, I will be living into these things, right? That's what I want you to do. Now, the six-figure CEO mastermind is full. So I can't help you do that in the six-figure CEO mastermind unless you but I want you to tell me in the comments, who do you want to be? I am a person who what? I've heard I'm a person who sets and enforces boundaries. I'm a person who honors my time commitments to myself and others. I'm a person who stays in action regardless of how I feel. I'm a person who shows up fully. I'm a person who stays in integrity with my promises. I'm a person who honors the commitments I make to myself. I'm a person who exercises self-control. I'm a person who's self-disciplined. I am a person who gets visible frequently. I'm a person who asks for what I want. I want to hear these things. I am a person who, think about what you want to achieve. Fully booked with a waiting list, $10,000 a month, like 6 figures, 7 figures, being on TV, becoming like your own Oprah, like whatever it is. What kind of person do you have to be to do the things that will make that happen? That's what I want you to tell me. So like, there's this other story. I don't know if you guys might have heard me share this story before, but Brie Larson, who played Captain Marvel, and she was in some other things, and then Jennifer Lawrence, who's like in the Hunger Games and a lot of things, right? They're friends. And this is before Captain Marvel time, okay? So before Captain Marvel time. And Brie Larson won I forget. I'm going to get this wrong. I get this wrong all the time. Brie Larson won like an Oscar or an Academy Award or something like that. right? Something like that, won this award. Like a big top award. Let's say it's an Oscar. I think that's wrong. I think it's an Academy Award, but let's say it's an Oscar. She won an Oscar and she called Jennifer Lawrence and said, I don't get it. What am I going to feel like I made it? Like I won this Oscar for like best actress and whatever. When am I going to feel like I made it? Right? I thought that getting an Oscar would let me know or help me feel like I've made it. And Jennifer Lawrence said, you're never going to feel like that. You're never going to feel like you made it. Like, just let it go. You're never going to feel that, right? Like, in fact, Brie Larson said that winning the Oscar made her feel like she had even more to do, right? That now that she won that award that she thought would prove she was successful and that she thought would give her the feeling she was wanting to feel, that she had made it, that she had arrived, that she was a great actress, right? That it actually left her feeling differently. It left her feeling like she still had more to do and more to achieve in order to be successful. And that's because of what we've talked about. You cannot obtain success by climbing a ladder up. This factor, this external factor, achieve this thing, achieve this milestone, climbing my way to success, right? You have to step down. Success is already there. You actually have to climb down into it. There is nothing you need to accomplish or achieve to be successful, right? And what happens is, instead of climbing up and up and up and being all alone up there, right, when you climb down into success, you're surrounded by other people who are successful, right? Who allow you to be successful, who help you to find success internally, right? Which is a much better experience, right? So how do you do it? How do you climb the ladder down into success? We already know how to climb the ladder up, and we're throwing that away. Climbing the ladder up is following that lifestyle that we've gotten since birth. Achieve this thing, then this thing, then this thing, keep moving forward, a linear path to success, check off the list, achieve the thing, check off the list. That is no longer our definition of success. Our definition of success is different now, right? So how do you climb down the ladder into the success that's already there? Number one, decide. Number one, decide. You cannot wait to achieve you can't wait to achieve something to decide that you're successful, right? So like, let's say that making $10,000 a month is what you think will make you successful. You can't wait until you're making $10,000 a month and then say, okay, I'm successful now. You have to be successful in order to make $10,000 a month. Does this make sense? So you have to decide, I am successful. I'm a successful person. This is why I achieved something. I'm not successful when I achieve something. I'm successful, and that's why I achieved something. Does that make sense? How can you achieve something if you're not successful? You already have to be successful in order to achieve it. So you have to decide, I am successful now. You just say it. You just make a decision. I'm successful now. I'm just deciding that I'm successful now. It doesn't matter what I've achieved, what I've accomplished. What I am successful right now, right here, right where I am. Then you have to get in touch with your feelings. So all of these goals, these milestones, these markers that you want to achieve, how are you going to feel when you've achieved them? How are you guys going to feel? Think about making $10,000 a month, being fully booked with a waiting list. How are you going to feel when you achieve them? Sherry's like, I'm going to show up regardless of whether I want to or not, right? Regardless of feelings are always the last thing to catch up anyway, Sherry. They're always the last thing to catch up, right? We wait until we feel motivation to take action, but it's action that creates motivation. If we're too tired, we won't do something. If we, commitment is what it creates, your vision, and feelings sabotage it. Feelings sabotage it time and time again like that, right? I'm too tired. I'm too scared. I'm too whatever. It's like, nope, doesn't matter how I feel. I still have to show up and take this action, right? So I love that, right? I am successful now. So you decide that you're successful now. But then how will you feel when you've achieved this vision of success, when you're making the money you want, when you have the business model you want? A lot of people say, I'll feel joyous. I'll feel safe. I'll feel secure. I'll feel fulfilled. I'll feel whatever. Cool. What are some things that allow you to feel that right now? If being fully booked with a waiting list makes you feel joyous, how can you feel joyous right now? What can you do to feel joyous right now, right this minute? What can you do? For me, it's always buying fresh cut flowers. When I buy myself flowers, I feel joyous. So I can have fresh cut flowers all throughout my house. When I listen to a certain kind of music and do a little dance party, it makes me feel joyous. Cool. I should do that, right? It's like I feel relaxed when I've reached my goal, when I achieve these milestones, when this external marker of success is achieved, I'll feel Relaxed. Cool. What else makes you feel relaxed right now? Bubble baths, naps in the middle of the day, sitting outside. Do those things now because, again, it's that law of attraction, right? Like attracts like. So something negative won't attract something positive, right? It like repels it, right? So like something not joyous isn't going to attract something joyous. Something like relaxed isn't going to attract something stressful, right? So you need to be the person and feel the way that you need to feel to attract the thing. So if you want to attract situations that make you joyous, be joyous now. If you want to attract situations that make you feel secure, be secure now. If you want, right, so you have to find other ways of feeling that thing. And then you become it. Like the decision you're about to make, the thing you're about to do, right? Who do you have to be in order to allow that experience to happen now? So that's the biggest thing, right? So decide, I am successful now. Know how the external things will make you feel and start feeling that way now. And then the third is say, I am a person who what? I am a person who, and focus on who you have to be, because then that defines success internally. And that means you are in control of experiencing it and you can do something immediately and you don't have to wait. And that means, right, you can't non-success, not successful, unsuccessful doesn't attract success, right? So you have to be successful to attract success. So you can't wait. You have to be successful today. And the minute that you're successful today, you will attract success. So this is the way you do it. It's like, I'm just being successful. Success is the person I'm being, how I'm showing up in the world, who I am every day. Okay, I'm the kind of person who eats nutritious food, gets plenty of sleep, drinks sufficient water, right? Like moves every day. Cool, then I'm going to be healthy, right? Like I'm the kind of person who shows up fully, takes action regardless of how I feel, gets visible, lets people know solutions to their problems, asks for what I want, like, you know, honors time commitments to myself, honors, sets and enforces boundaries. Like these are the things that will allow you to be a successful person now. And you have like control over that, and that will allow you to attract, right, success. Does this make sense? So that's what I want you to think about. That's what I want you to share in the comments. I want you to tell me who you are. I am a person who what? And really think about it. I'm a person who celebrates progress. I'm a person who enjoys the process. I'm a person who, if you enjoy the process of building your business, that's huge, right? I'm a person who enjoys the process. I'm a person who sets and honors boundaries. I'm a person who honors my time commitments. I'm a person who shows up fully. I'm a person who stays focused. I'm a person who, whatever it is, I want to know what those things are. So share those in the comments and let me know. And then guys, stay tuned because later today, maybe tomorrow, I had said yesterday, right, because the mastermind is full, I have decided to open up some spots for a 90-minute intensive. But then, of course, I talked to my coach and we made it even more fabulous. We made it even more great. So, like, I think that if you're having trouble with this, if you're like, who do I have to be? And then what does that mean, right? For my strategy and for things like that, right? Because once you are successful, everything around you will just help you create and generate more success, right? It's kind of pointless to talk about a strategy for success if you haven't decided that you are a successful person, right? Do you see what I'm saying? So anyway, I'll be giving you guys information about that if you think like a 90-minute intensive to help you deep dive into the thing that's getting in your way the most, or allow you to like really brainstorm out a strategy, or like overcome the biggest block in your business right now, or know an action plan to move towards the thing you want. I'll be telling you all about that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I want you to comment below and tell me, I'm a person who, okay? Thank you guys for being here. I'll be here next week. I'll be here with another wonderful topic. So stay tuned. I'll talk to you later. And I can't wait to read your I am statements and watch you step into success right now, because you can be that person today, right this minute. And the minute you do, you are successful. And the minute you recognize and allow yourself to be successful with ease, just like that, you will start attracting success. Okay? All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. I'd love to hear your takeaways, your thoughts. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.